After checking out Santa Ana for a few days in the rain, it's now time to join my friends Phil and Catherine on a hike to see the Santa Ana Volcano. So in this episode, I attempt to climb the Santa Ana Volcano twice, so let's see how I get on. Hi there, I'm James. I'm solo backpacking in El Salvador before going to Guatemala, and this is my last activity before I cross the border, and it is a very bittersweet moment as I've loved this country, but here goes, here's the last episode of El Salvador. I actually felt a bit ropey from the night before. I had a bad stomach from my hot dogs at Cafe Tejas and I didn't get much sleep either, so I wasn't feeling too good. I nearly cancelled, but I made my way out to go and see Phil and Catherine at Casa Verde Hostel to join the group tour. This cost $20 to hike the Santa Ana Volcano and then spend the afternoon around Lake Coatepeque. This includes all transport too. Despite the weather clearing up, we hit a bit of a snag when we got to the gates.
Okay.
It's this,
Very
okay.
good, okay.
Okay, so he's taking us to the ruins first and then to the lake.
Okay.
Oh, okay. The gates were closed, and our driver Tony was shocked and couldn't believe it, so he's straight on the phone to make a few calls. It was confirmed by the ministry it was closed today. They did not send out a media communication, so now we had to figure out a plan B for the day. As a group, we decided to visit Tazumal, an architectural complex within the larger area of the ancient Mesoamerican city of Chalchuapa, a 45-minute drive away, and the entry is $5 for foreigners. Actually, I'm pretty pleased about this. I don't feel too good. I was nearly sick on the way up to the gates of the national park for the volcano, and this was on my list.
Oh, never heard of that. Yeah, it's not bad.
Seeing Mayan ruins is one of my top 3 aims for the whole trip. So the main aim is to see Tikal, but I'll happily check out this place too. And what a day to explore. It is so hot, my word.
So plan B today, I had a bit of a rough night with my stomach last night, but managed to stem the flow of watery shits, and then we went to the lake, which is open, but the volcano is closed today, which we didn't know. So on this tour we've done plan B, and we're at Tazumal Mayan Ruins, which you can see just behind me there. So I'm gonna go and check that out, read about it. Looking forward to seeing my first ever Mayan ruins, and let's see what we can find.
But this place is absolutely awesome. Look at the sights of this. Archaeological investigations indicate that Tazumal was inhabited from the Classic period, so AD 250 to AD 900 through to the post-Classic. The site had links to Central America, the northern Yucatan Peninsula and lower Central America.
It is brutally hot today and I am suffering with my stomach. I've not got much energy because everything's been taken out of me, but at least I'm not going to the toilet every 2 minutes. I just have no appetite. There's nothing I really fancy to eat. The only thing I really fancy is a Coke. That might give me some energy, some sugar. But pretty gutted, but I'm going to try and push through and get up these Mayan ruins.
After a great 2 hours of exploring and learning more about the site in the Company Centre, it was time to head back on to the minibus. Next, as a group, we decided to head to Ataco on the Ruta de las Flores. Again, I'm very happy about this, as this road was on my list, so I get to explore one little town on the route, and this had been a recommendation from a previous guest on my podcast. As we arrived, we were slightly harassed by restaurant owners trying to get us to go to their restaurant for lunch, but we walked around to check out the local architecture and park. Then we headed to Hokicalco restaurant, which had great options for lunch and drinks.
Yeah, That's the only thing I can eat right now.
After lunch, we took a stroll into the city some more, and I love the little cobble streets here and the street art.
Pupusaria. Yeah, he's making some money off you.
I also noticed many trendy cafes where you can sit down, have a coffee outside and watch the world go by. I saw a lot of backpackers doing this, but we decided to go to Dulce Sofia Pasteleria, and the coffee was great too. After a long day, it was time to head back to the city and the hostel. I was pretty relieved to get through the day, head back to the hostel, chill out, get some sleep, and then go again for attempt 2 the next day.
Morning all, hoping for a bit more luck today that the volcano is open. So just had some breakfast, had a great night's sleep, ready for it. It's looking a beautiful day. I'm going to head over to the other hostel in about an hour, and let's hope the journey up is okay. Yesterday I got a bit queasy on the way up, so don't need that again. But hopefully it's open, get trekking, see this amazing thing, and then go and see the lake as well next to it. Should be a good day, it's going to be great weather, and it's going to be with good people, so let's go.
This morning, I'm walking back to the hostel for attempt 2, and it's exactly the same again. $20, pretty much the same group, in the same minivan, the same driver, same tour. Let's go. We were assured today that the volcano grounds were open, and as we arrived, they were, which is the first result of the day.
The volcano is open. We are going to hike up. It's a bit cloudy, so we can't go all the way to the top at the minute, but it might get better. I'm just hoping to see the crater, that's the main thing. And it's $3 when you arrive within this group here, and then $3 at the top, and shouldn't be too hard a walk. Here we go.
We paid our guide $3, who collected the bigger group, and we started to ascend towards the volcano. So let's go on a little bit of a journey. At this point, you pay your entrance fee to the park, which is another $3, and this fee is in form of a ticket, which you give to the official before continuing up the trail.
This hike is rated 4 out of 10 by our guide, and I think he's right. It's not too bad. A few steps up, then a flat bit like this, but quite busy. There's 2 big groups here, and there's like a queue, so that's worth noting if you're looking to do this. We're hoping the wind dies off and the cloud clears a little bit so we can get to the top and see the crater. But let's see how far we get.
The guide told us that there were potential high winds at the top, and if there were, we wouldn't see much as they wouldn't let us up. And as you can see here, there was considerable cloud cover too, but we still trudged on towards the meeting point.
Oh dear.
As we walked up, we spoke to another guide coming down, and he told us we won't see anything and they won't let us up. But there's still that little bit of hope that when we get there, things might change. So we carried on. We got to this point and stalemate. There's a policeman at the top here who is not letting anyone through due to safety, which I do actually agree with, because why risk it? However, I'm sure he could have messaged the guides back down to the start point on his walkie-talkie to let us know. But hey, we're all disappointed. 2 days of trying and no luck. Bit unlucky.
Is another volcano as well. So we have in this area 3 volcanoes. Green Hill and East volcano.
We waited 30 minutes just in case because you never know, and then people started to head down, so we did too. At least we got some decent views on the way down though, pretty cool. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because you know my eyes see the difference which one is higher.
I did have a recommendation from TikTok for a coffee as a consolation prize here, so I asked Tony if we could stop there on the way back and he agreed, and I felt this might perk the group up. So we stopped off at Crater Restaurant and Coffee Shop. Supposedly it has amazing views of Coatepeque Lake, so let's take a look. Yeah, it does. Look at this. Absolutely unbelievable. What a view for a coffee. I was a little bit relieved because this is on my list, and in my eyes it's not a bad backup option for a view, and I think this is one of the best views I've ever had with a coffee. My word, this is stunning. I bought Tony a coffee as a thank you, and the group were perked up from the disappointment of earlier. What an experience. So we made our way down to Lake Coatepeque. We had drinks and food in Octava Maravilla restaurant. They do have great views outside of the lake, but it's quite windy, so we sat inside. After another long day, we headed back to our hostels and had agreed to meet at Pupusaria Claudia. This was a recommendation from Fatima on the walking tour from a few days ago. The pupusas are out of this world, about $1 to $1.50 each. We sat there, had 3 or 4 each, can of Coke, and reflected on our time in Santa Ana, and for me, El Salvador. Is there a better way to finish my trip in El Salvador than eat pupusas? Not sure. Towards the end of the meal, I met Nick for the first time. He had booked a shuttle bus over to the border to Guatemala at 4 a.m. the next morning, which I had too. A bit of a coincidence. I said goodbye to my tour group for the very last time. We took some photos, shook some hands, gave some hugs, and I left towards my hostel to pack up my stuff to see Nick at 4 a.m. the next morning. As I head over to Guatemala, it is now time to reflect on my whole time in El Salvador. This country amazed me. When booking my trip, I was nervous and unsure, but Dave, the walking tour from San Salvador, quickly quashed those fears on my first day in the city. I loved seeing the capital city with Dave and Carlos, learning about the country's history, the importance of each buildings, the history of the people, and understanding their journey to this point in time. Suchitoto next was a highlight and one of my favourite places. I love the people, the small town feel, the lake and the coffee. Despite being battered by Storm Sara, El Zonte was a great relaxing break as I chilled on the black sand beaches before finishing in Santa Ana, where I met so many amazing locals and fellow travellers. We got to explore the city, drink fantastic coffee at Cadec, and try to hike the Santa Ana Volcano. Maybe these things happen for a reason, and I'm not too concerned about not making the summit, because that just means I need to come back to the country, and I definitely will. There's much more to learn, see, do, and eat, especially more pupusas, and I've got to return back to Cadec Cafe, Point Break Cafe, and Ex Marte Coffee for more awesome cups of coffee. I just want to say thank you to the people of El Salvador for your hospitality and to my fellow travellers for making it an awesome experience. A special mention goes to Dave, Carlos, Gustavo, Daniel, Juan, Catherine, Phil, Chris, Nicole, Tony, Fatima and Nick for making this a wonderful experience for me. Thank you to everyone watching this series on El Salvador, and now it's time to head over the border to Guatemala. If you want to watch more of my videos on El Salvador, I do have a series linked on the channel. Head to Central America and you'll find videos for San Salvador, Suchitoto, El Zonte and Santa Ana the city. Enjoy. Please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel today, and let's go and see the world. Cheers, Hamo.